Hello, this is Rory with the Love Chat, and today's topic is you and me. Not us. Not we. Now, this is video number 253. If you have a question you'd like for me to consider featuring on the channel, please write it in a comment below, and if you enjoy my videos, I would be so very grateful if you'd subscribe and hit like. If you would like coaching on your particular situation, just visit my website, thelovechat.net/coaching, and use code TLC2020 for 15% off. Now then, let's talk about this topic. It's a bit of a confusing title, but I think it's an important title because so often, and on a daily basis these days, I run into relationships that are so obsessed in and of themselves concerning the relationship and nothing other than the relationship. And people forget how important it is not to become an us or a we. And it's far more important to be an individual, to remember the things that make us who we are. Because it's so easy to lose them in a relationship when we become too into a relationship, too focused on the goings-on of the relationship, and if your partner's okay, and if there's anything that you can do to help them become more okay, and the relationship is all you think about all day, you lose your individuality, and when that happens, then there's no balance. And what kills a relationship faster than anything is the lack of balance. Now, so many of the pieces of advice and many of the videos that I do can often seem repetitive, and it's good because of two reasons. A, you have to remember that you're not the only person watching these videos. There's also tens of thousands of other people watching these videos. So not everybody hears particular advice, and so sometimes I'll chime it again. But B, it's not supposed to be difficult. It's supposed to be simple. It's a simple message. Love yourself. Have balance. Work on yourself. Too much closeness will kill the relationship. Don't forget to add some space in there as well. If somebody broke up with you, leave them be. Let them miss you, let them think about you, and you take time getting your house in order. But so many people that I speak to want to know, okay, yeah, fine. How do I win my ex back? Yeah, sure. How do I text my ex back? Is there a certain phrase that will unlock their desire? As if that's the game we're playing. Because we shouldn't be playing a game at all. The reality is that 95% of the people that I coach, I feel pretty comfortable with saying that number, are all broken up with for the same reason. Now, you might say words like cheating, you might say words like bad communication, or we argued too much, there was never any resolution, but at the end of the day, what it comes down to is two things, in my mind. Boundaries and balance. So, referencing boundaries, that means that there are certain things that we need to uphold in order to maintain our individuality and maintain our morals, which are part of our individuality and come from our individuality. So being able to say to the other person, look, I care for you deeply. I just don't want to see you 6 days a week. I'm going to see you 4 days a week, and I'm going to spend the other 3 focusing on myself, maintaining relationships outside of this one, such as my friendships, doing things that I enjoy and that I find to be interesting, maintaining hobbies, all of that. And balance, meaning I'm able to take all of these different elements and give each of them equal parts. I'm able to spend time with my partner. I'm able to spend time away from my partner. I'm able to spend time with my friends. I'm able to spend time away from my friends. And I have balance in all areas of my life, which can be extremely complicated to do, particularly in your 20s, such a chaotic time of life where you're still trying to figure yourself out. Even more so chaotic now because of the coronavirus. But the reality is that so many people get into relationships and they love the way they feel. They love what a relationship does for them and their self-esteem, and it basically puts them on top of the world. But just imagine for a second what the world would be like if we could all do that for ourselves and we didn't need another person to do that. It would be nice. It would be a wonderful addition, but we don't need it. And the problem that I run into is that we're willing to give up our own interpersonal individuality and become we or us because it means that we can cling closer to the other person. And if we can cling closer, we can always feel amazing around them. Except we completely ignore the reality that because we do that, the relationship falls apart. And it happens just millions of times a year. I speak to myself, and that doesn't even factor in any of the other dating coaches. Myself, I speak to thousands of people a year. And with those people, 95% of the reason they break up is because of this lack of balance, this inability to hold ourselves as an individual. Rather, we enter this symbiotic weirdness that's another relationship. And it's not a bad thing to spend a lot of time with your partner, and that's not even necessarily what I'm saying. What I'm saying is when it comes down to you giving up all of the things that make you, you. Think about this. You're out having a fun night with friends, and maybe you're at a dinner, let's say, or bowling, and you happen to look in the next lane and you see somebody very attractive, and you decide to go get a drink, and they come get a drink with you, and you say, hi, my name's Rory, or whatever, and a romance is sparked because of that. There's a certain way that you're acting throughout the first 2 or 3 months, and maybe even longer, maybe the first year, that begins to slowly fade away with certain people. And I'm not saying everybody does this, but the point of the video is to address the people who do. How you were when they first met you changes over a period of time. And the weird part is it's not because of their influence. It's because of your decision making. It's because that you're spending less time with your friends. You're spending less time at the gym. You're spending less time eating healthy. You're spending less time doing the things that made you who you were when they first met you. And then months to years go by, and you slowly begin turning into someone else. Someone that maybe you don't even recognize. When did I become this anxious? Why do we fight this often? Do I even really care about what we're fighting about? When's the last time I saw that friend? Why am I neglecting my friends? And this happens over time. It doesn't just immediately start. So at the end of the relationship, we very much link our identity with our partner. And then our partner walks away or breaks up with us, and then we lose part of our identity. And then we're sitting at home, barely able to look at any inch of our house without it evoking some memory of some funny thing or some loving moment that we had with the other person. And the reality of the situation is that we have alienated most of our friends, not to say that we couldn't get them back or reconnect, but usually at the end of the relationship, we made the other person our whole life. And that, in turn, made us a we instead of an I. You can say, I am dating her. I am dating him. I am dating them. And that one little sentence is empowering because you're acknowledging we are not we. We are not us. I am I. They are them. And that's it. I maintain my individuality. It's an active choice to maintain your friendships, to maintain your gym habits, to improve upon things that you wish to improve on simply because they'll make your life better. Now, this doesn't mean don't have a good, happy, healthy relationship with your partner where you're spending time with them. Not at all. This encourages that, in fact. What this is saying is, I acknowledge that investing so much of myself into this relationship will cause me to lose myself. And in so doing, it will turn the other person off because I am not doing the initial things I did when they first met me. I'm willing to bet that who you were at the beginning of this relationship looks nothing like who you are at the end. And maybe some things have improved. Maybe some things have gotten worse, but I'm willing to bet you're different. And 90% of you, 95% of you, are not a different that you recognize, not a different that you enjoy. So my pitch here is very simple, and I hope it lands, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be an individual in your relationship. And yeah, that includes the repetitive information that you hear all the time on this channel. Simply because it is simple and clear does not mean it's ineffective. Just like going to the gym. How do we lose weight? Well, make better food choices, exercise more, and everybody will roll their eyes. Oh, but I always hear that information. What pill do I take? What supplement do I need? What crazy new fad do I have to try? And we'll always say, look, eat better and move more is common sense because it earned its place being common. It worked, and so because it worked, it became the most effective thing that you hear. But I have these attitudes from time to time just thinking, oh, yeah, no, yeah, fine. Leave him alone. No contact. Sure. Everybody says no contact. How do I really win my ex back? And it's like, if that's your attitude, you're never going to. Because you're forgetting that the individual who first got that person in your life in the first place, who first won that boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever the case may be, that was a totally different person. That was a person who had their life, their individuality, their freedom, and they were excited. So this is a call to action. Become excited. Reinvest. You have no idea who you could be. That's all I had for today. If you found my video helpful, I'd be very grateful if you'd subscribe and hit like. Please leave a comment below and tell me what topics you want me to cover in the future, and tell me what you thought of this one. If you'd like extra videos every week, private live streams with me, and free giveaways of my best-selling book on Amazon, just visit my Patreon. Patreon.com/thelovechat. Until next time.